Module 7, Dictionary and Word Meaning. As you all know that meaning is the most important property of a dictionary, as most of the language users refer to a dictionary to know primarily the meaning of words, besides its pronunciation, spelling and usage. It will not be unfair if we claim that the central theme of a general dictionary is, unless specified otherwise, is to provide the most relevant and appropriate meaning of words used in a language. In fact, many of the dictionary makers believe that the primary purpose of a dictionary is oriented towards providing appropriate meanings of the lexical items so far as possible in a clear and unambiguous manner, because dictionary serves as one of the important semantic clause to clarify the meanings and terms used in the language. There are many ways to approach to define the word meanings, and these are the central themes of general semantics, logical semantics, generative semantics, and lexical semantics. As a dictionary maker, we are not here to discuss these theories and principles, but to understand how meanings of words can be represented or presented in the dictionary in a highly systemic manner, so that the end users are able to satisfy their queries regarding word meanings with direct reference to a dictionary. Therefore, as a dictionary maker, we are more on the side of an application to explore the nature and manner of presentations of a word meaning, as well as the amount of information to be presented in the dictionary. On the other hand, theoreticians and grammarians have defined various types of meaning, taking into consideration various ways of expressing it in language, starting from synonymy. They have traveled a long way to reach to the stages of holonymy or meronymy, traversing the meanders marked with semantic theories like denotative, connotative, stylistic, componential, to cognitive, to many others. In this module, we do not need to discuss all those finer shades of meaning. Rather, we should focus on four most important types of meaning, with examples and illustrations from English and other Indian languages. The meanings that are discussed in length in this module include the following: synonymy, antonymy, homonymy, and polysymy. Our primary concern are mainly to examine the relationship between the form of a word and its meaning, different types of meaning, and the relationship of meanings between different lexical units in the context of use of words in a language. We shall exercise all these ideas from the point of view of the treatment in the dictionary. What is meaning? The word meaning itself has many different meanings, as defined in the dictionaries. In discussion of the concept, scholars have enumerated more than 20 different definitions of meaning. Meaning has been studied in many disciplines, namely philosophy, psychology, logic, linguistics, lexicology, semiotics, etc., from different perspectives, and no solution is reduced to solve the problem called what is meaning. In the present day dictionaries also, we come across different definitions for the word meaning, some of which are presented below. From the dictionary.com online source, we find what is meaning, what is intended to be or actually is, expressed or indicated, signification, import, these three meanings of the word. The end, purpose, or the significance of something, what is the meaning of life, what is the meaning of the institution. In linguistics, the non-linguistic cultural correlate reference or denotation, or a linguistic form expression. So these are the different types of meanings. We can come across many other types of meanings also, definitions of meaning. What is synonymy? In synonymy, it is assumed that there are words in a natural language that have exactly or nearly the same meaning. Such words are known as synonyms, and the phenomenon of having several words with similar meanings is known as synonymy. However, the rigorous research into word meaning have clearly shown that there is no synonym in a language in the true sense of the term. In simple argument, a natural language cannot have any two words which are exactly same in meaning or similar in lexical functions. This is not possible, as every natural language follows the principles of redundancy, where the unwanted words are simply discarded from the vocabulary of the language. A natural language, like a play, no word which does not have a specific meaning or sense is found in the language. And on the contrary, there is no unique sense or idea in a language for which there is not a word or lexical item to express. This argument leads to raise the question why there is no synonym in a language. To reply this question, linguists have harnessed the following arguments. Words are always different in their generativity. Words are different in their finer senses. Words are different in collocation. Words are different in distribution. Words are different in their antonyms. Words are different in compounding. Words are different in usage patterns. Due to the reasons stated above, it is better to assume that words are not synonyms, but some words are nearest in sense or similar in meaning in a language. Those words of nearest sense, for the purpose of better understanding of the concept, are termed as synonyms. For instance, the word meaning in a regular English dictionary presents nearly 50 words which may be considered, based on contexts, as synonyms of meaning. Here is the list. Meaning has 50 different senses: message, context, explanation to realizations. The table shows it. Lexicography has a long tradition of making dictionary of synonyms. From Nighontu to the present day, there is long history of dictionaries of synonyms. The origin of dictionary making itself may be traced back to the study of synonyms, as Amorukoso has not only inspired many lexicographical works of this type in India, it has been used for preparation of dictionaries of foreign languages also. Roger Thesaurus has reference to this work. So, synonyms are not available in the true sense of the term, but because of that certain properties common to them, these synonymous terms are normally included into the dictionary. Antonymy. Another type of meaning relationship is what is traditionally called antonymy. The term broadly signifies the oppositeness of meaning, but it is open to criticism and always different interpretations are possible to create. What is the antonym of kind? Cruel or unkind? Both can be good candidates for becoming antonyms of kind. But unkind does not mean cruel, nor does not beautiful means ugly. Girl or man can be equally suitable candidates for becoming antonym to woman. The relationship denoted by antonym can be analyzed in terms of oppositions and contrasts in the meaning of the following types: extreme opposites or reversives, or contradictions, or binary opposites. This is the relationship either or type, the positive and negative features of the meaning: dead, alive, tie, untie. These words show binary taxonomy or absoluteness of boundary as far as Lich is concerned, and do not allow anything between them. In other words, they are not graded. Dead means not alive. There cannot be degrees of deadness or aliveness. Opposites or polar opposites are contrasts. This contrast can be explained in terms of scales running between two poles or extremes, as rich and poor, good and bad, much and little. One can be neither rich nor poor, but not neither dead nor alive. There is possibility of variability in terms of degrees between the opposites. Between cold and hot, there are cool and warm. Good and bad can be judged from the degrees of goodness and badness. In other words, these opposites allow gradation. Rich and poor may be judged from the degree of richness and poverty. Incompatibles. This is the relation of meaning exclusiveness and not of contradiction. Two meanings are incompatible if one contains at least one feature contradicting with a feature in other. Say red, black, blue, yellow, day and night, morning and evening, etc. To say day is to say that morning or noon, not morning or noon. Man and woman are incompatible because man has plus male feature and woman does not have it. Other meanings is incompatible with woman or boy, cow, etc. because they do not share the features plus adult plus human respectively. Conversatives. This is the relationship that exists between words like English buy and sell, ask and reply. Besides this, there are other relationships of meaning of relational set like father and son, hierarchical. So, as the case of the synonyms, complete to obsolete antonyms are also rare in a language. A word may have more than one antonym, each restricted one in some contexts. The word thin, as in the cases of thick, as an antonym, but fat in another context. Word dry may be antonym for wet, moist and damp. So it depends on the context how the antonyms has to be related. Homonymy. In homonymy, in polysemy, the different meanings of a word are related and have developed from the one source. The lexicographer is faced with quite different types of problem when it comes to the following situations. The Hindi word man has the following meanings. Man, mind, desire, wish, mount. Here it has different meanings. In cases, we find there are a lot of differences. In cases of homonymy, a common thing is found in the pair of words which are identical in spelling or pronunciation but different in meaning and senses. Such words which are identical in spelling and pronunciation and have different unrelated meanings are called homonyms. And the phenomenon is known as homonymy. But when we examine the following words, we find that different situations in English can lead, can guide, or take and lead, or so soft, heavy, easily melted one, or can have different structure, different spelling, different type of pronunciation, and a different kind of meanings. Such words are called homographs. For example, English word right, R-I-G-S-T, W-R-I-T, R-I-T-E. They are three different spellings, so they are homographs but pronounced almost same and having different meanings. Although different in spelling, they are pronounced identically, right. Such words are called homophonous. When we compare all these three types of words described above, we find that the homonyms are words identical in both spelling and pronunciation and have different unrelated meanings. The homographs are words identical in spelling but different in pronunciation. These again having different meanings, and homophones are words different in spelling but identical in pronunciation and also having different meanings. Homographs and homophones are not much of importance for a lexicographer because they are quite different lexical units and pose no problem of relatedness of meaning and their arrangement. The homographs, because of the identity of the spelling, are treated like homonyms in the dictionary. This problem is rare in many of the Indian languages because of the syllabic script used by them. While treating homonym, the lexicographer has to keep in view the different types of homonyms. In some cases, there may be the total identity in all the forms of the paradigm and its collocational possibilities also. In others, it may be only the partial. We can think of different way of treating those things. So homonyms having three different type representations, and as a dictionary maker, all three different representations of homonyms are treated separately with little problem. Many homonyms are etymologically related. Such words are given in the dictionary separate entries from the practical point of denoting the grammatical features and distributional characteristics of these words. This would be more helpful for a common reader, especially for learning the generating power of the language. The lexicographer should look at homonyms from the point of view of their origin. How do homonyms appear in a language? This will help the lexicographer in establishing the relatedness of meanings and distinguishing homonyms from polysemous words. The homonyms have the following source in a language. Homonyms come in a language because of the convergent phonetic development of two or more different lexical items. Most of the homonyms in a language have their origin in this way. Phonetic changes pertaining to the loss of affixes, simplifications of conjunct consonants, loss of syllables, etc., affecting either one of the words or both of them lead to creating homonyms. In cases of divergent development of polysemous words, we can also come across the phenomena of homonyms. In course of time, the different related meanings of a word become so very different that the relatedness of meanings is no longer perceived and the words are treated as homonyms. But this is very fluid and uncertain field. Much depends on the speaker's judgment, which is not frequently subjective. The homonyms also have their origin in the language by borrowing from different languages. These borrowings may also undergo phonetic changes. The homonyms of this type may be of different types, and the dictionary developer has to be careful how those borrowed terms to be treated and identified as homonyms. Next one comes polysemy. Polysemy refers to the situation where a particular word has different meaning in different context, but there is only single entry. Most commonly used words are more polysemous than less frequently used ones. Random House Dictionary shows that there are 134 meanings of the word run because the word has more frequent use in the language. In the same way, the words like hand, ear, nose, tongue, leg, etc., they are having more frequent meaning, more frequent use, and more divergent meaning. Not only the content words, the functional words are also equally polysemous. In English, the preposition in has more than 120 different meanings or sense variations because this is used in different senses in the language. From historical point of view, polysemy is the change in the general semantic structure of a word. A word might have retained its original meaning and added some more meanings to it. It may also happen that some of the meanings have been lost and new ones are added. So, when a lexicographer deals with the polysemous word, he studies and analyzes the interrelations and interdependence of the different meanings in the semantic structure of the word. We can thus identify the meanings differences in cases of polysemous words. The meanings are related to each other in cases of polysemic words. In most cases, it has been found that one meaning is the central or direct meaning. This meaning is the denotative meaning and has no supplementary or additional semantic features. The other meanings are derived and have been additional features, semantic features, which has been come into play and tagged to the basic sense of the meaning. All these words are used simultaneously and are based on the logical relationship of the multiple meanings of the word. The determination of the primary or the central or the dominant meaning of is a basic problem faced by a lexicographer. He has to fix them. He interrelate and differentiate the meanings, find out the different subsenses characteristic to each meaning and arrange them in his dictionary in some systematic way. Different criteria may be used to find out the basic meaning. One commonly used and widely accepted as reliable criteria is that of etymology. The meaning which is etymological or is nearest to the etymological is considered to be the basic or the central meaning. For example, in Hindi, Aag, the fire. Fire is the central meaning, a burning sensation, other things are different. In English, father, the male parent is the central meaning. Other meanings such as ancestors, founder, first leader, god, priest are secondary meanings. The word in a language where the etymological and historical studies have to be done is to be taken into serious consideration to find out it denotes different meanings. Even in the languages with written literature, many a time the historical sense is lost and the speaker ceases to discriminate between the basic and non-basic senses. For example, the word crane in the meaning of a bird and a machine is an oft-quoted example. Sometimes the relatedness of even these words is not perceived by the native speakers. This leads to the development of homonymy. Besides the etymological criterion, the lexicographer may apply contextual and statistical criteria to help him determine the central meaning. The statistical criteria to determine the central meaning of words pertains to the frequency of its occurrence in the language. A frequency count of meanings has shown that the individual meanings of a word differ in frequency. The more frequently used occurring meaning is taken as the basic meaning. The frequency of the word table in the meaning a piece of furniture is the highest. Of all the uses in the word, the meaning and orderly arrangement of facts, as is called in census table, is only far less in occurrence. So, frequency can be an important part in determining the meaning. The central meaning occurs in various and vastly different contexts, especially in different types of pre-collocations. Secondary meanings occur in some contexts only. Whereas table as a piece of furniture occurs in many of the contexts and combinations. In the meaning, the person seated on a table, it occurs only in a few contexts like keep the table amused. And in the meaning of food provided at, also in limited context like he keeps a good table. Both of these meanings are not very common. So, in determination of meaning, one has to be very much careful in the frequency of occurrences and its distribution into the texts. Finally, how to treat polysemy in the dictionary. How does a lexicographer find multiple meanings of a lexical unit? How does a lexicographer find multiple meanings of a lexical unit and make sense discrimination among the different senses? He analyzes all the context in which a lexical unit occurs, and by comparing the different usages, similar and dissimilar in different contexts, he extracts the different meanings. For this, he has to do a large selection of contexts. To determine meanings involves in analysis of all the contexts and all the combinations, possibilities of a lexical unit. The sum total of the meanings and sub-meanings of a lexical unit forms the semantic range of the word. From this total semantic range, the lexicographer examines the word in a particular context and finds out that in such and such situation, a word has such meanings. In other words, the context individualizes the relevant meaning from the total semantic range of a word and eliminates the possibilities of other meanings. Similarly, the context removes ambiguity of meaning that has been stressed by many linguists and grammarians. We have noted words are ambiguous based on different contexts, and we need to refer to the context to identify the actual sense of the word. A little about hyponymy. Another approach to the study of meaning relationship is in the terms of meaning inclusion or hyponymy. It relates to the analysis of hierarchical relationship between meanings. Many lexical units in a language include the meaning of other units in them. For example, vehicle includes in the meaning of bus, car and motorcycle. Animal includes in the meaning of the cat, dog and elephant, etc. The lexical unit whose meaning is included from the lower rung to the hierarchical structure of meaning and is called hyponymy. The lexical unit in which the meaning is included in the superordinate term or hypernym, sometimes referred to as classifier also. The hyponym some additional meanings which distinguished it from the other class. For example, dog contains, besides the meaning of animal, also an additional meaning which distinguishes it from other animals like cow, cat, horse, etc. This hierarchical structure can show how a particular word is hierarchically placed. Thus, different types of meanings are actually represented into dictionary. A dictionary developer not necessarily should be interested in all kinds of meanings noted and observed in cases of words to be furnished in the dictionary. His basic task is to identify the major types of meanings like homonymy, polysemy, and synonymy and antonymy, and present those in the dictionary in a systematic way so that the readers can understand in which sense the word is being used in the dictionary and represented in the dictionary, in the text, and in the regular use of the language. Thank you.